Hey you guys, I'm really looking forward to be harvesting these beets with you today. It has been long overdue because I planted them back in winter, and out here in the winter there's only like a very small portion, like little spot in the patio that gets about 2 to 3 hours sun in the afternoon. So you can see it's really very low sun in the winter here, and anything about 3.5 feet and below gets 0 sun in the winter. So to plant out these beets, I kind of started testing out how much sun will get the beetroots to swell up. Because, you know, beets, you can grow them for the leaves. They're very tasty and edible. But if you want to grow them for the beetroots, they actually require more sun. But how much sun do they actually need for the beetroot to actually start to swell up? That's what we're going to be finding out today in this episode, because I'll be harvesting beets that have grown around in different places in the garden, also in different levels. For example, this is the tier that we'll be first harvesting from. This is the Mr. Stacky. I originally had this placed on the other side because it gets like pretty much full sun in the summer, also with about 2 to 3 hours of sun in the winter. So this tower was over there. It was sitting on top of a milk crate, which means the lowest level of this tier started at about, just like right now, probably counts as being on the second tier or so. Now that I've moved Mr. Stacky to the ground, the first tier is much lower to the ground right now. So by winter, this is definitely going to be a very low lights kind of space to grow. I might put in some mint or something that requires less light to thrive in after I remove the beets here. The beets I pretty much planted out in any random spots in this tower. Got some on the lower level and a second and a third level and so on. And then originally I had just 5 of these towers stacked together. I ended up picking up a second one, and I picked up the second set used. So now I got 7 tiers in this one and in 3 tiers in another location. The one on the highest, like on the top part where I've placed the beet, you're gonna see in a little bit, we're gonna be harvesting that one last, because that is the one that got the most sun out of all the beets that I've planted throughout the patio. So let's start harvesting the beets, starting from the ones that got the least amount of light growing, and then we'll harvest all the way up to the ones that got the most sun. That way we'll be able to compare the difference and how big they can grow, you know, the potential based on the amount of sun they get. Now, if you're growing them just for leaves, you can grow them similar like Swiss chards. They can take a little more shade, but usually root vegetables would require more sun to thrive and for the tubers to actually develop, just like your sweet potatoes in the summer when we grow those in the warmer season, or like the radishes or the carrots, you know, they need that sun to actually get the taproot to swell up. All right, let's get started and harvest these up. I sure cannot wait to get these pulled out, make some, I don't know, stir fries, juices or something with these, pickle them. And the most exciting part is that every time when I pull something out, I'll have the space to put something new in. So let's get started. I got 2 beets planted on the lowest tier, which actually started off right about here. The tower was placed on top of a milk crate. And you can see, and I love having a spinner. Okay, it's time to harvest you. This is how small, cute little swelling of the root here, the taproot. Thank you. I've pretty much been harvesting the leaves to eat all this time, because when they're not getting that much sun, pretty much the entire time in the winter, the plant was pretty much stunned. Like, it didn't really do anything. It kind of just stayed alive. It didn't really grow. It produced the leaves super slow at producing the leaves. The roots definitely didn't get big at all over winter. But then when we had like The lower tier having lack of sun, in the winter would feel like a refrigerator out here. Unless we got like a couple days of warm, warmer days in the winter, that's when you can see a little bit of changes going on in the plants. So here we are, we got a tiny little beetroot here. That's from the lowest level. Thank you. Let's see if there's any more here. I think that's all the beets on this first tier. All right, let's start pulling this one out. Oh God, they're so beautiful in this. Okay, you ready, beets? Thank you. So you can see it doesn't require that much depth to grow the beets. You definitely can even grow like maybe 1 to 2 beets per just your plastic gallon containers, I think. Yeah, beets are so good. Beets are awesome. They're tasty, they're very nutritious, easy to grow, and they definitely are really great for container garden. You can see they don't take up a whole lot of space to grow. This thing, the depth is probably about 7 to no more than 8 inches in depth for sure. And I definitely did not rotate this every single day, so they're not getting sun evenly all throughout, So this one obviously is so much bigger because this one was facing more towards the sun most of the time. And whenever I was away, I didn't get a chance to, spin this. So they're not all getting even light. Let's go. Thank you. Oh my goodness, this one is pretty big. Just by stepping up to the second tier. Now I don't know if different varieties of beets require, a different amount of sun to get the roots to actually swell. If you guys know any differences, between different types of beets, leave your comment. Let me know. Look at that. Would you look at that? Already, this is a much bigger beet. These beets keeps breaking because I don't have that much space and I keep pushing stuff closer to the wall. Here's this one here. Wow, as you can see, this one is so big. They're so pretty, I almost don't even want to harvest them. Thank you. Look how big this one is. They are definitely getting bigger as we move up, up the tiers. We get more sun. This is a nice white one. This thing is getting so much easier to spin now that the beet leaves are not in the way. I can't wait to show you guys. Actually, it's just right over here. This is a tower made with PVC pipe. This is a 6-inch diameter pipe that you basically can just drill holes all around. I've been playing around to see what will grow well in this tower. This beet is already flowering here. The hole here on the top got the beet all swelled up. And then this one here, I actually got 2 beets in here because I had a hard time separating them and I didn't want to sacrifice any of them. But heck, it's always fun to experiment, see how it goes. So I had 2 of them here and they ended up having both of them developing. This one's already flowering. These 2 are stuck in here. Let's just try to take it out. Thank you. Oh my goodness. So it's split a little bit. Thank you. Oh my goodness. You see how this one is flowering? And we got a really pretty beet here. And let's get this one out too. Thank you. I probably can just keep this in there and let it keep growing bigger since I've removed one, but this one's so cute. It's probably more tender. Usually with root vegetables, if you leave them in the ground for too long, after it develops to, you know, its full size, it's going to start getting really tough, the fibers. So, you know, the bigger is not always better unless you can grow them big fast. But if you leave them for like a whole year just to get it really big, most of the time it's just going to end up being very fibrous. It's going to be really hard for you to eat them. And in that case, if that does happen, if I can't cut it at all, it's just going to go in the compost. If I can still kind of, you know, cut it, I can just slice it and throw in the juicer. So this one, I think this little baby beet is probably still really good to eat. Thank you. And then here is this one that's bulging out. Here we go. This is so much fun. I think I will grow beets on this thing again in the winter. Ooh, thank you. Isn't this adorable? All right, there's one more we need to harvest. Let's go. Oh my God, sorry you guys. Now this one here is part of the original Mr. Stacky. This is that top piece of the other tower that I just showed you. But since I picked up the second set of the tower, I have split them up because it's way too tall to stack 7 of them. So the one that's on top of that one, I ended up placing it here, which means this one that was planted with the strawberries and the peppers was over there getting the most amount of sun. That's why I have the chili up here as well, because they like full sun. And this is how big this beet looks when you plant it. And I think this one being on top, which was I think about at almost 5 feet, 4.5 to 5 feet high, which allows it to get full sun in the winter for me here. You can see this thing is massive for a beet in a small container just like this. Here we go. I have a feeling that this thing is going to be grown, like kind of stuck with the pepper. Oh my gosh, it is so big. Wow. Thank you. Ooh, and it's not all that hard to pick it either. I thought there would be a bunch of roots from the chili that would go along with it. But oh my gosh, look at that, you guys. This is insane. This is a little grow bag that's hanging. I'm actually standing on a stool so you can see how tall this thing is. And just with this little space, I can actually grow beets in here. Look at this. Like, there's little beets in here. You know what? I've gotten so many of those harvested. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and process those, but you guys get the point. I just wanna show you I'm not going to harvest these ones. But you actually don't need that much depth to grow the beets, because as you can see, once they swell, they kind of just push itself up above the soil, and then it has like a couple or maybe even 3 inches of just the tip of the taproot that grows into the soil. So you don't need that much depth to grow them. Isn't that funny? Like, here's this other one. This one is tucked more in here, so it's actually a much smaller beetroot. It's not getting as much sun, especially with the green onions growing from the lower tier, kind of going up, shading off the beet. And then this one is so bare up here, nothing is shading it. And you can see that the beetroot, it's actually very plump. Right down here, I decided not to harvest these just because it's kind of nice to have some beets to eat whenever I want. So this bed here is grown just about like 1 foot off the ground, and that means it leaves zero sun in this spot in the entire winter time. So these beets and chars did not grow at all through entire winter. It was just like 2 to 3 or maybe 3 to 4 inches tall with leaves that are so puny. It's just kind of like hanging, literally just hanging out there because of lack of sun. And then up till about 6 weeks ago, I want to say, the weather started warming up, brighter skies, you know, as the sun shifts. That's when I started seeing the roots, the beet roots actually started to bulge. So you can see down in here, these are the Swiss chars, I believe. Are these? Yeah, oh no, these are beets as well. These are the red beets. And then I got some yellow, orangey sort of beets here. And then, oh my gosh, oh my God, I'm breaking stuff. Can you see this beautiful cluster of tomato here? I'm so tempted. I'm just gonna eat one. Oh my God, so full of flavor. So good. Okay, back to the beets. This is the size of the beets. You can see it's grown to a pretty decent size now. That's kind of the fun thing about growing in a small, narrow garden, is that I get quite a lot of microclimate here, which would mean that I think I would be able to grow out beets in the summer as well, because in Southern California, we usually grow beets and carrots or even like cabbage, sort of vegetables like that in the cooler time, like in the fall and winter. However, you know, me being in this microclimate, certain spots I think I might be able to tuck in the beets in the summer, even though they tend to bolt more in the warm weather. But for me here, I think I might be able to get away growing the beets in the warmer season, when I put them in like plant them lower to the ground where they get a little less sun, but they'll still get enough brightness to kind of form the roots. The roots to bulge up. If I get a chance on, you know, getting some beets growing in here, I'll be sure to give you guys an update on how they grow later in the season. Let's check out if this one's fibrous. Feels fine to me. So pretty. You know what's the funnest thing about beetroots? Is that you can, oh, it smells so good. It's really good lip stain, or as a little like blotting your cheeks. You can actually, yeah, I think this one is a bit dry. I think beets make one of the most rosy, beautiful, natural looking lip and cheek stains. Well, thank you guys for joining me out here. I can't wait to get these processed in the kitchen. As you guys can see, it really doesn't require a lot of space to grow beets. They grow so well in containers. Imagine putting them just one in each gallon-sized pots. Just remember to feed them, you know, regularly, which I do, like a worm casting diluted in water, or like a kelp, or once in a while like fish emulsion, sort of a fertilizer for them. And then having a lot, I mean, the sun really makes all the difference for them. Otherwise you'll just get smaller beets, but they'll still be also tasty, and you can harvest the leaves if you don't have very big beet roots. Anyway, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please subscribe and hit the bell notification button for updates if you have not. If you're looking for plants and seeds, I'd love for you to go check out my shop. I will put a link of that in the description box below. I'll see you right back here in the next video. Bye.